Welcome to Tamarindo. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of Tamarindo, the things we did while we were here, the things we really loved, and a couple of the things you might want to know before you come here yourself. Now, of course, we did our research before we came here, but there was a couple of things that still really surprised us. And I'm going to get to that after I tell you a few of the things that we really enjoyed. So Tamarindo is a pretty young place compared to a lot of the places we traveled in the world. It was actually officially named a district of Santa Cruz only in 1995. Where did it get its name from? Tamarindo got its name from the tamarind trees. If you look behind me, these trees line the coast everywhere here. It's a fruit-bearing tree. Now, this area was discovered by the Spaniards on Columbus's fourth expedition back in 1492, and at that time they called it Costa Rica, which translates to rich coast. So this area really didn't get a lot of attention from the Spaniards because it didn't hold the precious metals they were looking for. So for many, many years, this area remained a small, tiny fishing village. So as recent as the 1970s, this just had a small dirt road to get here. They had no services, no water, no electricity. But the surfing community found this place because of the surf break. In the early 1970s, this part of Costa Rica, the northwest corner, was not largely developed. There was no paved roads. Not even the Pan America Highway was paved at that time. So back in 1973, the one person here ended up building this one hotel. So this one hotel, the Hotel Dairaya, if I pronounce it right, started construction in 1973. Shortly after that, electricity was first introduced in 1974 to this region. There's basically only one paved road here to get to Tamarindo from the main road. There's no streetlights, there's no stop signs, there's not even crosswalks here, and it gets pretty busy during the weekday. Now, what makes Tamarindo easy? It's pretty well English speaking everywhere, and everything's based off the US dollars. So when you're coming from up north, it's an easy transition. There's no learning curve. Tamarindo is a big tourist town. It reminds us a lot of Banff, Alberta, close to where we grew up. It's everything a tourist wants. It's basically just bars, restaurants, beach, and some shopping. And of course, the main draw is the beaches. If you're into beach holidays, this place is excellent. If you come in the right time of year in the dry season, I don't think we've even seen a cloud since we've been here yet. It is hot. It's about 33 degrees Celsius most days, and most of the time we've been in about 90% humidity. So yeah, it's warm for us Canadians. There's a huge expat community here. We've met people from around the world, and a lot of them have moved here and started up their own businesses. The people that we have met around here are super friendly. We have felt so safe and secure here. It's, like I said, it is just an easy holiday. Now, a couple of things you really need to watch out for, things to be aware of before you come down here. Now, I've done my research and I've seen a lot of videos where it talks about the rental car industry down here as a scam. And I didn't quite believe it because I do know their laws down here, you have to pull out Costa Rican insurance. So the price of the car is one thing, but you have to pull out local insurance, and it doesn't matter what you have or what kind of credit card you have. So some people think that's a scam because it really adds up. Now, we went to a really reputable rental dealership here, and these are names I recognize from North America. So we went in there to ask about a rental car for doing the second half of our Costa Rica trip. And I got such an odd feeling when I went in there, and he was talking to us about how much is our budget, and I said, well, you give me the best price and not worry about what our budget was. So he comes back for a 13-day rental. It's $2,100 US for 13 days. But the part that I found odd is he said, well, come outside and I'll show you the vehicle you get for that. And once we get outside, he starts talking to me about, well, I actually have my own personal rental company and I can get you a car for cheaper than this. And then you don't have to worry about all the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. And I'll get it to you for $1,500 for 13 days. And I got such an odd feeling from that. Needless to say, we did not rent a vehicle from here. We'll do transfers instead. Now the transfers we've gotten here, it turns out all of them so far have to be cash. Now we never quite expected to have to pay cash for so many things. Cash is king down here. So make sure you come down with plenty of cash instead of depending on the credit card. The next thing that surprised us quite a bit down here is it's expensive. It's Costa Rica for a reason. Oh man. And I thought Mexico was getting expensive, and I thought Canada was getting expensive, but we've had a bit of a surprise down here. The one thing you need to know is when you're going to the restaurants, they have a law here where tipping is mandatory. So when you read the menu and you read the price, that's not the price you get on the bill. They will add 13% tax on everything, and then a 10% service gratuity on top of that. So whatever you see on the menu is going to be 23% higher by the time you get to check out and pay your bill. So that was a bit of a surprise to us. But the cost of things on top of that. We went out to this one restaurant, we had a club sandwich between the two of us and one drink each. And when it converted over to Canadian, it was about $74 Canadian. So your budget's going to take a bit of a hit down here, if you're a budget-minded traveler. So here's a good place to know about: the grocery store, which will give you a break off the restaurant costs, and the bank, because you may need to get a little bit more while you're here. So the local currency was something for us to get used to here also, because its value is so much different than North America. So the colones that they use here, 1,000 colones bill, seems a lot to us, but it actually converts to about $2 US, $2.70 for 1,000 colones. So you go to a restaurant, you'll see something for 11,000 colones. And because the numbers are so high, you think, well, it's still basically pretty cheap. Well, that's still about $30 Canadian for that. And conversion is not easy. So we just started at the very beginning, just running it on our credit card, and then I would take a look at it later, and I was surprised at how expensive some of the things are. So get used to the currency conversion so you know what you're spending. And then there's the one main road that goes through town, and there's actually 2 3-way stops. It does like an S-turn through town. And if you're not aware, and if you think it's the North American standards where the pedestrians have the right of way, you will be surprised. They don't stop for pedestrians here, like a lot of places do in the world. But there's no crosswalks, so you gotta plan where you're walking. If you do like walking in the mornings like us, the best bet is on the beach where you don't have to deal with the traffic. Things to do in Tamarindo. The best things that we found while we were here, of course, the beaches. And they got these catamaran trips, like booze cruise type things. And we had a ton of fun on that one. But they got this Thursday night market. And on Saturday, they got a Saturday market in town here. And that's where you can find all the crafts and all the good fruits and vegetables. But we found, other than the bars and restaurants and the beach, it's really just a one-horse town. There's not too much more to do after that. Now, Tamarindo and the area is beautiful. We were really glad that we were able to experience it and come here, and the weather's been fantastic. But to give you the honest opinion, we've been here, done it, but I don't think we need to come here again. Anyhow, let's go on to the rest of Costa Rica. We got 3 more places we're going to visit before we exit the country. Let's go.